Eto diretsahang tanong na attorney ano, kung kayo po ang tatanungin, sang-ayon ba kayo attorney sa pagbababa o sa lowering ng age of criminal responsibility sa 10 years old? And
Mm.
palagay niyo ba attorney napapanahon na ba? Kailangan na ba talagang gawin ito ngayon, Attorney Ann?
Um, just to give a background dito sa Juvenile Justice Welfare Act ha, kasi before its enactment, meron na tayong existing. But ang minimum age of criminal responsibility then is 9 years old. So sobrang baba na kasi. Um, During that time, from 9 to 15, yun yung tinitingnan kung if the child acted with discernment and if with discernment, magiging criminally responsible siya. So that time, ina-assume ng batas na from 15 to 18, automatic may discernment na. So alam na nila yung ginagawa nila and the consequences to their action. So, ginawa ng mga magbabatas natin noon, kasi itong mga bata na ito, isipin mo, 9 years old, makukulong. Tas ikukulong siya within the same compound na may mga adults, 'di ba? So, napo-prone siya imbes na magiging reformative or restorative, na nagiging prone itong mga bata sa abuse. So, in my personal opinion, kung ibabalik natin yun, di parang yung years nang nangyari, the development from the time that JJ was enacted, parang nabaliwala lahat. So if you're going to ask me kung ibababa yung lowering ng 10, I would say I would rather enforce yung JJ was strictly, or perhaps we can do 12. Sobrang baba ng 10 for me. So 12 to 15 and then 15 to 18. So medyo I think ganon. Yung let's just be strict with the application of JJY instead of lowering it to 10, because that's a bit gray line for me. Gray area.
Opo, yun ang bata pa nga naman attorney ano po. Pero eto
Oo.
pero eto attorney, if ever naman na yun nga igarantiya or if ever na i-implement talaga sa batas na ibaba sa 10 or 12 years old yung, age ng criminal responsibility, paano attorney yung sistema nito? Ano ba 'to, makukulong ba siya? Makakasama niya ba attorney yung mga preso talaga sa kulungan o sa bahay pag-asa lang na tinatawag, attorney?
Okay. We have to clarify ha. Kasi yung immediate release na sinasabi for children who committed offenses but are below 15. So we have to clarify the 15 and below. So pag 15 and 1 day, sa taas na siya. So pag 15 and below, tapos when the crime committed is not serious crime, then yun yung sinasabing immediate release. However, dun sa case natin ngayon, when the child is 12 to 15 and they committed serious offense, they must be confined within 1 year. So, for a year, a minimum of 1 year. Ito yung tinatawag nating bahay pag-asa. Tapos ang tawag ng program na doon is Intensive Juvenile Intervention and Support System. Support center. Well, basically, the purpose of that is yung mga child, kasi syempre, ano ba naman yung child na nakakommit ng grave offense, tapos papakawalan mo lang sila immediately. Hindi siya, it's not, it's against our common sense, di ba? So, ngayon, itong bata na to, even if exempted siya from criminal liability, the law requires that they are confined within pag-asa, within the program, tapos only a court of law can release them. So, i-evaluate yung case study, psychiatric evaluation report, tapos ini-ensure din na bago sila pakawalan, they have been rehabilitated. So, hindi ibig sabihin na under 15 or 15 and below, papakawalan ka agad. Doon pumapasok yung concept ng bahay pag-asa or yung Intensive Juvenile Intervention and Support Center. So, ganun yan.
Okay, opo, attorney, very well said po. Pero ito attorney, sa palagay niyo, possible kaya na mangyari ito attorney na ibaba talaga sa 10 years old yung age of criminal responsibility or liability? 'Pag ganito attorney, ano ba yung mga specific na law or amendment na kailangan para mangyari ito, attorney? Ano yung mga steps sa Congress or sa Senate para ipasa ito, attorney?
Well, unang-una, syempre, before law can be amended, there must be an initiation. To be honest, marami na talagang attempts, ha? From 2006, maraming attempts. There were some in 2019. Actually, tuwing may session ng Congress, lagi may congressman or senator na nag-a-attempt. Pero, syempre, we have CICL, yung International Convention, yung Child Laws. And as much as possible, we try to avoid violating or at least going against dun sa international laws. So, itong mga attempts na to, in order to change yung existing minimum age of criminal responsibility, is being halted. Kasi nga, yun nga yung arguments. Pero given the rise, kasi ngayon parang pabata na ng pabata yung mga nagko-commit ng heinous crimes. So I think it's about high time for us to look into the Juvenile Justice and Welfare Act, or JJWA as we refer to it. Pero in order to do that, bago mo ipasa yung batas, so syempre, kailangan mo initiate. Kailangan pumasa in its third reading. And kailangan aprubahan mo ng presidente. Kailangan pirmahan. And it must be published in newspaper of general circulation for 15 days. So, iba-ibang steps yun, iba-ibang process. Along the way, may mga talaga, mag-against it. So, you have to be very careful with that. And also, hindi lang enough yung pag-amend ng minimum age of criminal responsibility. Kasi, if you lower it, are we aware that there is not enough budget for the DSWD to handle these offenders sa Bahay Pag-asa? Hindi rin naman. So, in order for us to make this applicable and in order for us to make this effective, we should not only look into lowering the minimum age of criminal responsibility. Dapat dagdagan din yung finances ng Bahay Pag-asa, and at the same time, sa DepEd. Kasi if you will watch the news, ang main issue is there is not enough guidance counselors. So you don't just look at this scope of the implementation, you look at it as a bigger picture. Magandang pakinggan na bababa yung minimum age of criminal responsibility, but how they are going to implement it, we have no idea. So, yun, that's what I recommend.
Okay po, yun. Eto, attorney, isunod kong tanong, feeling ko napaka-importante nitong tanong na ito, attorney. Para sa kaalaman ng ating audience po, sa korte, attorney, ano ba yung mas tinitimbang sa case na ito? Kasi, paano, attorney, kung halimbawa 10 years old, well, may isip na kasi ito, alam niya na kung ano ang tama at mali. Ano ang tinitimbang dito, attorney, ng korte? Yung edad ba ng bata, yung discernment, yung pagkakaintindi niya sa tama o mali, or ano po, attorney?
Okay. We have to clarify. Kasi sa JJWA, 15 years and below, exempt siya from criminal liability. Tapos, mag-undergo siya sa intervention program. Ngayon, tinitingnan lang yung discernment sa current law, ha. Pag above 15, so 15 years old and 1 day to 18. So, exempt sila technically unless the minor actor acted with discernment. Ngayon, ano ang discernment? Sa Supreme Court ruling, sinabi na hindi enough na alam niya yung ginagawa niya. There also must be knowledge of the consequences of the actions. So, saan makikita yon? Hindi lang enough na dapat alam niya yung tama at mali. Dapat alam niya rin yung consequences nung ginagawa niya. Hindi lang siya intent, but deeper level ng moral and mental maturity. So, ano ang pwede nating tingnan in order to satisfy that requirement? So, siguro appearance, attitude, yung pag-commit ng offenses, yung kung paano kinomit yung offense, siguro yung mga sinasabi niya sa weapons na ginamit, and disposal. So, yung mere fact pa lang na alam nilang itapon or i-hide yung pieces of evidence, that shows that there is discernment. And in this case, to be honest, yung mere fact that there were leaked conversations showing that this is premeditated, it appears na there is discernment. However, the other actor is below 15. So regardless if they acted with discernment, it will not be taken into consideration. Kasi nga, they are not 15 years old and 1 day. So magiging applicable lang yun dun sa other minor offender. If he is above 15 years and 1 day, saka lang dinedetermine yung discernment. Pag below that, even if with discernment, dun papasok yung intervention kasi grave na yung offense that was committed. So, ganun siya.
Okay po, iyon. Paano pag ganito, attorney? Halimbawa, yung 10 years old, nakasuhan. Ang tanong dito, attorney, may permanent record na ba siya? And hanggang kailan yon, attorney? Kailan yon mabubura? Halimbawa, pag 18, 25, o habang buhay, dala-dala na niya na yun, attorney?
Okay. Just to be clear about it, lahat, ang tawag kasi dito, children in conflict with the law. Actually, bawal nga na i-publicize sila eh, like sa media and everything. However, sobrang heinous nung offense, kaya na, Pero, if you will notice, pag may offender na minimum age, di ba biniblur yung mukha nila? Kasi, the records of a child in conflict with the law are strictly confidential. They are sealed and it must not be disclosed. Yun yung major offense natin ngayon as a public. Siyempre, hindi pa tapos yung, ang dami na kasing lumalabas na na-identifying, showing the pictures. Technically, it's not allowed kasi we have measures na i-prevent this eh. Kasi restorative justice yung ginagawa natin eh. Itong children in conflict with the law, they are basically undergoing these interventions in order for the community to return them back to the society para maging efficient members of it. However, if they are being subjected to like media, if the records are disclosed, so parang wala nang chance yung bata to redeem themselves. So, in this case, kung 10 years old siya, kung sabihin natin nababa na yung minimum age of criminal responsibility, tapos na-detain siya, it's still the same. His records are sealed. So, kahit mag-18 siya, dapat hindi siya ma-disclose. And in fact, it should be avoided at all costs.
Opo, iyon. Eto, attorney, mga ilang katanungan na lang po. Pag halimbawa, attorney, na-detain naman or nakulong yung 10 years old na bata, paano na, attorney, yung pag-aaral o trabaho niya paglaki? May second chance pa ba, attorney? O talagang sira na yung record niya habang buhay, attorney?
Ito, pag ang bata ay acting with discernment, do you remember the Magwad incident? Yung, I can't remember where it was committed, pero yung stepdaughter, nasa MMK to eh. If you remember, parang sinaksak niya yung adopted brothers and sisters niya, or pinatay niya. What happened there was, the child, the actor, merong yung 17 years old, tas yung babae. They were admitted to a diversion program. Kasi obviously they acted with discernment because of the manner of how they committed the offense. However, during the time na nandun sila sa diversion program, syempre yun, tuloy-tuloy yung aral nila and everything. However, hindi siya naging effective. So it shows na they cannot be returned back to the society. So, like, they were committed and tried as adults. In fact, adults na sila ngayon. So they are in, the regular BJMP and stuff like that. However, even if they are in prison, in jail, maganda na rin naman yung mga programs ng BJMP natin ngayon, to be fair. Kasi if you will ask me, syempre nagpa-personal jail visits kami and everything. Meron silang livelihood programs, may Bible study sila, and some of the inmates I know are undergoing training para to provide healthcare. And of course, we have alternative learning systems na din. So it really is not a hindrance in order for them to go back and be an efficient member of the society once they are released from prison. Kasi ang BJMP natin, ang jail management system natin ngayon, does everything in its power. In fact, if you are familiar, one of the programs ng BJMP Tagaytay, which I'm also promoting. They are helping yung mga inmates to do like paintings, tapos binibenta nila. And the proceeds goes to the inmate when they go out, makakatulong para they go back to their society, to the society. So it's similar to that. So hindi porket pakulong yung bata, wala na siyang pag-asa. Like maraming programs ang ating government towards that.
Okay, yon. Very well said, attorney. O ito, attorney, bibigay ko naman ang opportunity kay Bombo Kim para magtanong din po sa inyo. Bombo Kim?
Ayan, good morning po, Attorney Ann. Si Bombo Kim po ulit ito at welcome po ulit dito sa ating programa. Siguro matanong ko lang po kasi parang nahapyawan niyo na yung effectivity ng ating bahay pag-asa or other ko ba rehabilitating or kumbaga correctional facilities for our youth o children, ma'am o attorney. Siguro po maano ko na rin lang po, kamusta po as per assessment yung effectivity nito mismo in general? Like may proven and tested na po bang napalabas tayo na mga bata until ma-serve po nila yung time equivalent nga po doon sa pagkakaserve doon sa bahay pag-asa na reformed na po sila as members of our society?
Okay. Syempre, these records are sealed, diba? One of the major changes done with the amendment of the JJ1 2006 is the implementation of this diversion and intervention program. Ano ang pinaprevent niya? Basically, if you will look into it, it avoids yung recurring commission of an offense of that same child. Kasi what happens is, if you will consider, syempre, child of minor age yan, dun pumapasok yung nature versus nurture, di ba? If the nature of the child is inherently evil or if the person just around him is not enough to support him, dun nagiging applicable yung pag-asa. Yung bahay pag-asa allows this minor to be given a second chance because they are exposed to counselors, to government officials or government officers that actually helps them rehabilitate, understand what the consequences of their action are. And hindi lang ina-assess nito yung mental capacity ng child. Ina-assess niya rin kung pwede na bang ibalik yung bata sa society. So unless and until it is proven, then hindi talaga siya mare-release agad-agad. So it allows the child to have another input. Syempre, let's admit it, hindi rin naman maganda lahat yung nature and nurture ng mga bata eh. So they are exposed to other factors. But the Bahay Pag-asa and the DSW itself allows them to be exposed into other factors. So mas naiintindihan nila, lalo na ang mga bata kasi I would like to believe that they are malleable. So mabilis silang i-form, mabilis silang maka-adapt. And alam mo naman yung mga bata, monkey see, monkey do. So kung nakikita nila ito sa bahay, but they have other inputs from counselors and whatnot, maganda ang nagiging epekto. And at the same time, pagbalik nila sa society, nare-realize nila there is more to this than I already know. Kaya in some ways, may mga nagiging effective cases talaga ng mga bata na pumapasok sa intervention and diversion programs ng Bahay Pag-asa.
Ito siguro po, attorney, last question na lang bago po ibigay ulit itong pagtatanong sa aking kapartner. Kamusta po ba yung cases in terms of, kumbaga, gaano kadalas o kabihira po na kumbaga napapatunayan natin na although yung bata po o may existing guardian and parent, absuelto po sila mula dun po sa salang ginawa nitong bata kasi like nag-act po sila according sa discernment na po nila na wala pong kinalaman sa kung gaano po kabuti din yung pagpapalaki ng kanilang existing guardians.
Ayun. Let's be clear about it. Even if the child is exempt from criminal liability, lalo na pag yung below 50, the parent is not exempted. So meron silang civil liability. You know, napag-usapan natin ito nung nakaraan, yung parental liability ng parents, di ba? Sinabi ko na if the child commits an offense against the revised penal code or any special laws, the parents will be responsible, civilly responsible. So itong parent nung offender natin na below 15, the parents would be obliged to pay kasi civil liability does not have criminal responsibility. Wala siyang kulong. Pero they are obliged to pay the victims and kung ano man yung mga nagastos or whatnot, medications, hospitalizations, pagpapalibing, mga ganon. Pero yung child itself, kung below 15 siya, even if with discernment, wala talaga siyang criminal responsibility, pero dun papasok yung bahay pag-asa. Pero if the child is above 15 years old and one day, tapos may discernment siya and it is proven in court, meron possibility and most of the time, nako-convict siya. Kasi hindi naman talaga magkakaroon ng regular court trial if the act is not very, grave, if it's not heinous. So, rare yung circumstances na 15 to 18 nag-undergo ng trial. But, syempre, meron pa rin tayong tinatawag na mitigating circumstance, which is the minority. So, ang applicable penalty niya is at least 1 degree lower pa din from that imposed by the law. So, kahit maging criminally responsible siya because he acted with discernment, mas mababa yung penalty niya as a minor.
With that po, attorney, thank you very much. Ibabalik ko na po kay Bongbong Kier itong mga pagtatanong.
Okay, balik sa akin, attorney. Pero ito, attorney, dahil limitado lang ulit yung ating oras dito sa ating interview. Siguro, attorney, bago tayo magtapos sa ating interview na ito, ano ba, attorney, yung parang masasuggest ninyo or siguro dapat na gawin ng ating gobyerno para hindi po matulad yung nangyari nung nakaraan sa Tacloban na yun nga po, nang baril yung isang menor de edad, tapos may namatay pa, maraming naging biktima. Para sa inyo, attorney, ano ba ang dapat na gawin dito sa ganitong mga sitwasyon? Attorney Ann.
Okay. Sobrang daming factors nito. Hindi mo lang pwedeng tingnan yung minimum age of criminal responsibility. Unang-una, where are the parents? Asan yung parents nung time na to? Are they not monitoring? Kasi the conversation or in the phone, how is the parent not aware that this is going on? Lalo na may mga reports na this was because of bullying. So let's look at it with a bigger perspective. Hindi lang we should focus on what happened. Which failed the minor? Sino ang naapektuhan? Hindi lang naman yung namatay yung naapektuhan, yung bata din. Kasi, kahit sabihin mong wala na siyang criminal responsibility, his face is all over social media. Pagdating ng 18, hindi na siya makakahanap ng normal. Hindi na babalik yung buhay niya sa kung ano man yung nangyari before. So, aside from implementing more social workers, perhaps guidance counselors, and syempre kailangan nating i-consider itong bullying na to. Kasi this happens in school, let's admit it, na hindi ka nang napapansin. And first and foremost, paano nagka-access yung bata sa baril? Yun yung, kasi, sabihin na natin may hinanakit yung bata, but if they weren't able to access a gun, hindi ganito ka grave yung mangyayari. So, yun din, we have to be strict with the safekeeping of these guns, or firearms that can be used for offenses like this. And at the same time, we can look into the JJWA or lowering the minimum age of criminal responsibility. But also at the same time, budget. Hindi lang budget for the DSWD and Pag-asa, budget din ng schools. Kasi there is not enough people to look after the children, lalo na sa public schools, lang ang guidance counselor, isa. Tapos ilan ng tao o ilan ng bata sa isang school. It's basically impossible for a guidance counselor to provide advice. Tsaka, ang pangit kasi ng connotation ng guidance counselor sa schools, to be honest eh. Pag napunta ka sa guidance, siguro may ginawa kang mali. Diba? Let's admit it, ganun talaga. So, maybe we can consider advisors, yung more teachers, or perhaps mas mababa yung ratio ng parents ng teachers to kids in order for us to actively and effectively monitor itong mga pangyayari na ito sa school. Kasi it began sa school eh. So, hindi lang nagmamatter yung lowering the minimum age of criminal responsibility, we should also look at the root cause of the issue.